Hello everyone and welcome back to Microsoft Dynamics 365 Tutorials for Beginners video series by Dynamix Academy. This is yet another feature explanation video. In this video we are going to cover everything about field level security, where we will cover when this feature, that means field level security, was introduced in Microsoft Dynamics CRM, and then what all the major changes has been done, as well as I will show you how to use this particular feature by giving you a practical demo onto Dynamics 365 trial instance as well as through Visual Studio, and at the end I will show you a brief future roadmap as well. So ladies and gentlemen, my name is Abhishek Doria and you are watching Dynamics Academy YouTube channel. So basically the agenda of this video is, first of all I will give you a feature overview about field level security, where I will tell you what is field level security in Microsoft Dynamics 365, and then we will see a brief history of field level security, where I will show you in which version of Microsoft Dynamics 365 this particular feature was introduced, and after that we will cover what are all the major changes that happened in field level security from its inception till today, and then I will give you a detailed feature explanation about field level security by giving you a demo about how to configure the field level security in Dynamics 365 and how these secured fields behave under various situations, like when you do retrieve multiple, create, update, and so other scenarios that I will be showing you practically on screen as well as by showing you the demo code as well. And at the end I will guide you through the future roadmap, where I will show you what are all the major announcements has been made by Microsoft about field level security into upcoming releases as well. So let us now first of all see the brief feature overview about field level security in Microsoft Dynamics 365. So in this point we are going to see what is field level security in Dynamics 365 and how it was introduced. So as you might be already aware that Dynamics 365 for customer engagement provides a security model that protects data integrity, privacy, and supports efficient data access and collaboration. So basically, there are three core components of our security model in Dynamics 365 for customer engagement. First part is role-based security, which lets you see the records of specific entity type. And then comes the record-based security, which lets you see the individual records. And lastly, what it comes is field level security, which lets you see the specific fields of that particular records. So if you dig deeper in Dynamics 365 customer engagement, you can use field level security to restrict access to high business impact fields to specific users and team. For example, you can use this to enable only certain users to read or update the credit score for a customer, or some highly sensitive data like PII or health related or monetary data. So in nutshell, field level security in Microsoft Dynamics CRM 365 allows you to extend your security model beyond entities to include specific fields. You cannot secure fields as a part of your typical security role setup. It is completely separate process. It is a two-step process. First of all, you need to enable your field for security, and then you need to set up a field security profile to define the privileges granted to your users and teams. Basically, whenever you want to show or hide or restrict the access to specific fields to general audience, then you can make use of this field level security in Dynamics 365. So having seen a brief overview, let us now see the history of field level security. Basically, when this particular feature was introduced in which version of Microsoft Dynamics CRM. Field level security was introduced with Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2011. Before to that, the only way to hide the sensitive data was to hide it in the form. But of course, there are some limitations, you might be aware, right? Just by not displaying the data on the form, it does not mean that any user will not be able to see the high sensitive data. Anyone can view that data from advanced find. If he adds that column in the advanced find, automatically that data is going to be shown up. Another limitation was through custom web service call or code. If you have written some utilities or custom clients through which you are retrieving those high sensitive data, then again the data was visible to them. Even through data exports or offline sync or in reports, automatically if you have added these fields or high sensitive data, then automatically it was going to show up the values of that particular high sensitive fields. And lastly, in case of on-premise deployment, you know that you already have the SQL access and you can write query and retrieve those data. But however, after it was introduced, now you can allow certain fields to be protected. Field level security is a robust method to enforce the security at global level. It applies to all advanced find, web service call, offline sync, reports, and even in SQL queries if you use filtered views by default. So practically you can restrict the access of that particular high sensitive data from everywhere. When it was introduced in Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2011, it was only possible to apply the field level security to the custom fields to any entity. It was not possible to apply field level security to out of the box fields or the system fields. So let us now see the major changes that happened to field level security in Microsoft Dynamics 365. So as you might be already aware from our previous video that Microsoft Dynamics CRM 1.0 was the first version that was released in the year 2003. But since this field level security was not part of that particular version, so it is again not applicable. So next two versions, which is Microsoft Dynamics CRM 3.0 and Microsoft Dynamics CRM 4.0, again these are not applicable because it was introduced in the version Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2011, and at that point in time it can only be applied to custom fields only. So since it was introduced in CRM 2011, I have highlighted with the green color, and again in the next version, which was Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2013, there was no change to it. But again, the major change happened into Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2015 version, which was now it can be applied to the system fields as well. So that is why I have highlighted with the blue color. So whenever there is a change, we are going to highlight that version with the blue color. So this was the major change that happened into Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2015. So now from this version and all the upcoming version, it is possible to apply field level security to both custom fields as well as system fields of any particular entity. After that, in all other versions till today, there are no major changes happen in field level security of Microsoft Dynamics 365. So this was all the major changes that happen in field level security of Microsoft Dynamics 365 or CRM. So let us now see field level security in detail. First of all, I will show you practically how to configure field level security in Dynamics 365, and then I will show you how do secured fields behave for create or update, and at the same time I will also show you how do secure fields behave when records are shared in practical demo as well. And after that we will cover how do secured fields behave in the filtered views, and after that I will show you how do secured fields behave with offline synchronization, and lastly I will also tell you how do secured fields behave for retrieve and retrieve multiple case, and in that also I will show you practically on screen for different scenarios, like when secured field is in the column set of a retrieve or retrieve multiple service call, and the next scenario will cover how do secured fields behave in filtered condition whenever the secured fields are placed in filtered condition in the retrieve or retrieve multiple call. And then I will show you in Visual Studio Code as well, when you are using these aggregate functions on secured attributes, then how it is going to behave. And after that I will show you if you apply grouping on these secured attributes, then what the effect or the changes you will see. And lastly I will also show you practically when you put the secured fields in ordering clause, then how or what effect it is going to make. So let us now first show you how to configure a field level security or field security profiles in Dynamics 365. So I'm going to show you the step-by-step process on this presentation slide. After seeing this step, I will follow the same steps on Dynamics 365 trial instance as well. So first of all, you need to enable a field level security for an attribute, and then you need to create field level security profile. After creating that profile, you need to associate users or team with that particular newly created field security profile. And after adding specify the specific field permissions such as create, update or read for that attribute to that particular profile. you can see the following diagram how the role-based security and field level security behave when you apply both in Dynamics 365 or CRM. The role-based security will always apply to the records or to the row level of Dynamics 365 entities, but the field level security applies to the columns of Dynamics 365 entities or table. Hope now it is very much clear what exactly the difference between role-based security and field level security profiles in Dynamics 365. You can see this is my Dynamics 365 trial instance, and in that what I'm going to do is I will create a custom field onto a contact entity, and then I'm going to make that custom field as a secured field. So for that you need to go to advanced setting, you need to navigate to customizations, customize the system, open the contact entity. So I'm navigating to the contact entity. What I'm going to do is I'm going to customize the contact form. So first of all, I will create a new field called field level security demo, FLS demo. Okay, I am giving the field data type as currency. You can put anything, it's up to you. And here you can notice field security. Right now by default it is disabled. You can enable it at the time of creating itself, or even after creating. If you forget to enable it, you can enable it after that also, after creating. But for time being, I'm at the time of create only, I'm enabling the field level security. So I'm clicking save and close, and now I'll put that field on the form as well, so that you will be able to see. So you can notice there is a key icon which is showing up when I have kept that field on the form. So that means it is a secured field. And since this is a custom field, let me now show you how you can make the same changes to an existing field also. So this field, which is job title field, is an existing field. I'm going to modify or create that field as a secured field also. So I open that particular field, and you can see that I can enable the field security for this particular item as well. So I have enabled it, and I will click save and close. So now I will hit refresh. Notice that both fields are now secured. The key icon is coming on both fields, and now I will publish it. So what I have done is I have created a custom field, as well as I have changed the system field for field level security. The next part is to create a field security profile. You need to navigate to security, and here you can see all field security profiles. So whenever you are going to create a Dynamics 365 instance, automatically the system administrator field security profile will be automatically created for you. This one is I have created for this particular demo. You can see the date, I have created it today. But keep one thing in mind: whenever you create Dynamics 365 instance, automatically system administrator security profile will be created for you, and one system admin, the current system admin, will be added to this particular profile. So this is how a field security profile looks like. This is an existing security profile, which is the system security profile, and the field permissions here you can notice that by default, whenever you enable any field for security, then automatically those fields will be listed out here, and all are set to as true for read, update, and create case. So for this system administrator field security profile, you do not have to do anything, because at the end of the day, if you forget to set this rule for your custom field security profile, but at least system administrator will have full access on the secured fields as well. So don't worry if you forget about it. So the next thing what you need to do is you need to create a new security profile. For that, you can click on new. You can give the field security profile any name. So since I have created for contact entity, I'm going to write contact security profile. You can give any name. It is not going to affect, because it is not based on any roles. It is based on the specific users. Okay. So now I have saved this particular profile. Next thing what you need to do is you need to add either teams to this particular security profile or a users. So currently I'm logged in with admin user. You can see I'm logged in with admin user. Apart from admin user, I have two other users, user 1 and user 2. Both are having sales manager role. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add user 1 into this profile, and I'm not going to add user 2 in this profile. So basically what I've done is I've added the members to this particular field security profile. So these are the members will be granted access to that particular field. So now all the secured fields in your Dynamics 365 instance are listed again here. In contact entity, we have enabled two secured fields, which is job title and FLS demo. So what I'm going to do is you need to define the secured profiles here. You want to allow them to read that particular field. You want to allow them to update, as well as you want them to allow create. So I've allowed the job title field yes for all three, read, update and create. But for FLS demo, what I'm going to do is I will allow only them for read and create. I'm not allowing them to update the particular data. So I have set up my field security profile, and you can see only user 1 I've added. There is another user called user 2 I have not added to this particular profile. So let us now see how it is going to behave. So now I'm logged in with admin user. So I'm going to log out from here and log in as user 1. So now you can see that I have logged in with user 1 profile, and what I'm going to create is I'm going to create a new contact. So automatically you can see here the key icons are coming. That means whenever you see these key icons next to any field, that means these fields are secured. I'm going to create a new contact. Since I've allowed them create both of the fields, I'm able to enter the data at the time of creating. And here, since this is money value, I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just save it. Now you can notice one thing, the FLS demo is automatically showing a locked sign, because now I will not be able to make these changes. Why? Because if you remember, I have given only read and create, but I have not allowed update permission on FLS demo field. But on job title field, I have given all three values, so I'm still able to update this field. What I have done is I have updated this field and I'm going to save it. Now you can clearly understand the difference between how the field level security profiles, or where you need to set the permissions for that. Since this is user 1, right? So I'm able to see this data. So let us now log in with user 2 account and see what screen or how this record is looking for user 2. Because user 2 is not at all given any permission, or he is not part of that particular secured profile. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to log in with user 2. So you can see that I'm currently logged in with user 2, and let us now navigate to that particular contact. So all contacts, and you can see I have created one contact called Abhishek Doria. I open that particular contact, and you can notice automatically these both fields are showing locked sign, and it is replaced with asterisk sign. So this is what the importance or the significance of field level security. Since this user is not part of that particular field security profile, so now even though he is able to see the complete record, other fields are visible, but these two fields are not visible to him. So this is how the secured fields behave when you try to read, create or update. So having seen that, let us now see how do the secured fields behave when records are shared, right? Whenever a user with access to secured fields in a record can share it with another user or team, the user can only give the access that they have on the record. For example, to share the record and grant the update privileges, the user must have an update privileges. What it tells is, if you are trying to share that particular record with another user with these secured fields, then you can only grant them the permissions that you yourself have it on that particular secured fields. You can share the secured field for a particular record with read and or update with a security principal. That means user or team. The user or team members with whom the record was shared now have the type of secured field access only on the secured fields on only that particular record, even if the user or team member to whom it was shared does not have field security profile that grants them access. So let us now see how do secured fields behave on filtered views. So let us now consider that if you have a report where you are using these secured fields. So when you are writing the SQL query or the fetch query for that particular report, then if you use the filtered views, then automatically filtered views will not return data for the secured fields if the calling user does not have authorization for the fields. When no field security is applied for any views attribute, the filtered views will return complete data. What we understand by that is, if you use the filtered views in your reports, then automatically those filtered views will respect the security privilege access of the logged in user. If he is having the access on the secured fields, then he will be able to see in the report. Otherwise, he will not be able to see the values. It is not going to throw any error when you are running the report, but it will give you the null values for those secured fields if you do not have the access to it. And let us now see how do fields behave for offline synchronization. If you are using Dynamics 365 for Microsoft Office Outlook with offline access, only the secured fields values that you have access to replicate into offline database. If you do not have the access to the data, it is not going to save in offline as well. So this is how the secured fields will behave in case of offline synchronization. So let us now see how do these secured fields behave for retrieve and retrieve multiple. So when you call the retrieve or retrieval multiple methods or messages, Dynamics 365 customer engagement evaluates if the caller and the impersonated user have access to each retrieved record and each secured fields. So this is a regular process. The call does not throw exception if the criteria contains secured fields for which the caller does not have access. Instead, null values are returned for the secured fields if they are part of output column set. Let us now see following scenarios. So first of all, let us now see what happens when you put a secured attributes in a column set. So if a caller does not have read access to secured fields that are included in the column set, values returns as null. You cannot tell the difference between a return null value caused by no data or caused by insufficient access. So what it tells is, let's say when you are retrieving certain set of records which has secured fields in the column set, and if you have the permissions to view those data, then automatically the values will come up. But let's say if you do not have the permissions, then what it is going to do is it is going to replace null values in the retrieve set. So let me now show you practically on the screen. So for time saving purpose, what I have done is I have created a secured field called budget onto an account entity, and I have created 4 records for this. If you want to see, this is the company one where the budget field is secured. You can see this is a custom field, and the data what I have put is in the budget field I have kept some amount, and market capitalization is another field. So both we are going to see, one is secured fields, another is not secured fields. Okay, and what I have created is I have created one security profile called budget security profile. So you can see this budget field security profile. In that, what I have done is I have added user 1 to this particular field profile, and the field permission what I have given for this budget field is I have given all yes for read, update and create. So user 1 is having full permission on the budget field, but user 2 is not having any permission on this budget field. So if you want to see, I have created 4 records with this data, and let me now show you the same data with user 2. So you can notice that with user 2 login, automatically the market capitalization which is not secured field is showing up the data. Even though the budget field is having data, in the view also this field is showing as null, and if you open that record, then it is replaced with asterisk sign. So in other words, even if you retrieve the same columns through advanced find, I am going to edit columns. So you can see that I have already added the budget column here and market capitalization for simplification purpose, and I will click on results, and automatically you can notice that budget field is coming as null. Now I will show you Having seen this on the screen, let me now show you through code also. Till this point, I am always saying that even through the code, you will not be able to see this data. So let's see that proof. As you can see on your screen that I have created a console application called Field Security Profile Demo, and in the program.cs main method, I'm first declaring two variables called username and password. Using that, I'm going to create a connection using the username and password, and then I'm calling a method called secured attribute in column set. Since we are showing this one in the column set, so I will navigate to that particular method, and here you can see there is a simple fetch XML. In this fetch XML, I am retrieving three columns of account entity, which are account ID, name, and new budget, which is a secured field. You can remember that new budget field is a secured field using a retrieve multiple call. So what I'm doing is I'm just simply fetching the name and account budget. If that budget contains, if the result set contains this new budget, then I'm going to pass that value. Otherwise, I'm writing a hard-coded string called budget is null. Okay, and then I'm printing that line, account and budget. So let me now connect with user one credentials. So user one is having full access on this particular field. So if I run simply, what it is going to, so you can see that all the data is coming fine. Since I'm connecting with user one, you can notice that I'm connected with user one. It is showing here. So let me do a little bit of code change here. Now, instead of user one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect with user two. And user two is not having access to those secured fields. So the same code is going to run, and now you can see that it is showing this string, hard-coded string, which I've kept whenever the budget is not present, is not found in that. This is how it is going to behave when you put the secured fields in the column set of a retrieve or retrieve multiple call. So hope it is now very much clear to you what will be the difference. So having seen this, so let us now see what happens or how do these secured fields behave when these secured attributes are placed inside the filter condition. If the caller or the impersonated user does not have access to the secured fields which are included in the filter criteria, then the field value is substituted with null during the evaluation of the filter. So what it means is that whenever the field is placed in the filter criteria, then it will be automatically placed with null value when it is applied. So let me now show you in the Dynamix 365 trial instance as well as through code. Both places we will see. So now I'm again logged in with user 2, okay, and I will show you how it is going to behave when I put this budget field in the filter criteria. For example, I'm going to advanced find and I'm going to create a new query. I'm going to write budget, where budget is greater than 0. Ideally, it should show all the values because all the budget is greater than 0. But since this user 2 is not having access on the budget field, how it is going to behave? I'm clicking on results and you can see the no data is results. Why? Because even though I've kept not only 0, I've kept 100, let's say 1000. If I put 1000, that means company 1 should be shown up because company's 1 budget is 1000. Even though I kept that particular value, it is not giving me any data because I'm not having any access to that, and automatically Dynamix 365 will replace 1000 with null. Since there is no results where the field value is null, so there is no data which is written. So let me now show you the same behavior through code as well. So first of all, I will show you with user 1 who is having the full access, how the data is going to show. But this time what I'm going to use another method called secured attributes in filter condition. In this method, what I have done is I have done a simple twist from above method, which is in account I am returning 3 attributes, but that budget attributes also I have kept in the filter condition. You can see what condition I have placed is I want to retrieve all the accounts where the budget field is less than 2020, means it should give all the accounts where the budget field's value is less than 2020. You can see early 2020. So now I'm running this program with user 1 credential. So what result it is giving? Let us now see. So you can see that it has written two values, company 1 and company 2. You can see this is user 1 login. You can see it has written company 1 and company 2. Why? Because company 1 and company 2's budget is less than 2020. So that is why the program is written correctly. But now let me do the same thing. Only the change I'm making this time is I'm going to log in with user 2 credentials. Okay. Now let me run this program again, and I'm calling the same method. You can see a custom message called no results found in this particular case, because since this user is not having any access, you can still see the same code. You can see there is a spelling mistake here also. I'm going to correct that spelling mistake and I'm going to run it again. So you can see there is no change in this code. This method is getting called secured fields in attribute condition. Let me put a breakpoint, and again, so that you will be 100% sure that only this method is getting called. So now you can see this method is getting called, and I will click continue. This is the data. So this is how the secured fields will behave when you put it in the filtered condition. At the same time, see what happens when you are aggregating on these secured attributes. So whenever you put any attributes in the aggregation, the secured values are substituted with null value, so normal SQL aggregation behavior will apply. Since I cannot show you in advanced find, let me now show you it through code. Again, I am opening the same code. I will just revert back to user 1 credentials, and at this time I am going to use the third method, which is aggregate on secured attributes. So in this method, what I have done is I have simply aggregated the budget field. I'm retrieving the average of the budget field. What is the average of all the budget fields in this particular case? So let me now run with user 1 profile. So currently you can see that I'm running this program with user 1, and what it will give you is it has given me the average budget 2500. If you want to calculate, you can calculate for simply 1000 plus 2000 plus 3000 plus 4000 divided by 4, which is 2500. So the result is correct. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply revert back to user 2 credentials, and I'm going to run the same code, exact same code, but the result is going to be changed. You can see the aggregate is null. You can see the custom message called aggregate is null. I hope that you can now understand how the secured fields will behave when you put this on the aggregate methods. Having seen the aggregation, let us now see what happens when you are grouping on the secured attributes. So if the caller or the impersonated user does not have access to the attributes used for grouping, then the value is treated as null and the results are grouped together with all the null values. Let me now show you again in Visual Studio how it is going to behave when you are grouping on this particular secured attribute. First of all, I will connect with user 1. And at this time I am going to use the fourth method, which is grouping method, and I will show you the code of that grouping method as well. You can see again I am using the fetch XML. In this case, what I have done is I am summing up the market cap grouped by the budget field. You can notice that this is the market cap. I am using the aggregate method called sum, but based on the group by field. So if you are grouping by the budget field, then automatically all 4 data is going to come individually. So let me now run this program. So currently I am running this program with user 1. Since all the values are different, so automatically summation of the market capitalization, which is 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh and 4 lakh, is coming as it is. But now let me make some data changes. Again, I am going to CRM screen. What I am going to do this time is I will tweak the budget field with user 1 lock-in. Okay, since I'm grouping on the budget field, what I will do is I will make it to 3000. So now you can see two companies with same budget but different market capitalizations. And now I will again run that code for group by with user 1. You can see this is user 1 and again the same code is running, and this time you will see a difference in the output. So now let me run the same program for user 2. So I'm not doing any changes, even the data is also same, but now you will see what is the change here. You can notice that now the total budget value is 10 lakhs. Why? Because it has replaced all the budget values with null, and it has grouped, since all the budget value is null and it is grouping by the null value, it is added all this total market capitalization. So if you make the sum of all this market capitalization, it will be 10 lakhs, is 1000k. So this is how it is going to behave when you put the secured fields in the group by column. Having seen that, let us now see the very last scenario, which is what happens when you put these secured fields in the ordering clause. So if the caller or the impersonated user does not have access to secured fields that are included in the order by condition, the values will be treated as if they are null. So let me now again go to the Visual Studio. I will switch back to user 1. First I will show the results with user 1, and this time I am going to use the last method, which is ordering on secured attributes. You can see the code for that also. You will notice that I am currently logged in with user 1 and descending order, then it is showing up 4321 in the correct scenario. Let me now run the same program under user 2's credentials. I am now currently running the same thing under user 2's credential, but automatically you can see, even though I have set it to descending order, but still the company name is coming 12345, because Dynamics 365 itself is replacing this order by condition as a null, because user 2 is not having any access on the budget field. So this is how the secured fields is going to behave under different situations when you use these secured fields under various scenarios. So that is all about the secured fields. We have given you the detailed feature explanation, and at the same time let us now see the future roadmap of field level security. If you consider from Microsoft perspective, there are no major announcement has been made by them with respect to field level security. So as of now, this feature is going to be used as it is. So friends, that is all about this particular video. I thank you for watching this video till the end. So if you have learned something new out of this video, then please like, share and subscribe to Dynamix Academy, and also press the bell icon so that you will never miss any update whenever we release a new video to our Dynamix Academy YouTube channel. And on that note, I end this video and take your leave. Hope to see you all in the next video. Till then, bye bye and take care. And once again, thank you for your time.